All right, so I think we can start. Good evening, guys. Welcome to, today's conversation or event. I hope you're having a good weekend. And this event is just for us to, just sit back, relax, and just learn a couple of things over the weekend. And I hope you all are resting well. My name is Oluwajuwon Aderibole. I am a co-founder of the Inventors Community, and I'll be your host for today together with Joel and Omo Lulu Emmanuel. So we're going to be your three hosts for today, the three hosts for today, and yeah. So today's event is just going to be about the topic you are seeing on your screen right now, basically the best practices for code review and peer programming. And it's a whole, we have a lot packaged for you for that. And we have two of our really experienced engineers that will be giving us, a talk for this evening, more like a conversation anyway. And I'm just going to, introduce both of them. As you can see on your screen, the first person you are seeing is Adedayo Anthony, and his name is the founder of the Inventors Community. And if you are wondering what the Inventors Community is, the Inventors Community is basically a community that help, tech enthusiasts to go from zero, like beginner level, to becoming professional level through different mentorship programs within the tech space. That's basically what we do, and we take mentorship a little bit personal because that's how we think people can grow at speed. And basically, the speaker today in one of our in today's event is going to be the the founder himself, Adedayo Anthony. And of course, I don't need to give history about that. He has been within the Inventors since the Inventors was just a thought, not even established yet. So, yeah, it's going to be one of our speakers for today. And we have a co-founder as well, Michael Ashefon, who, of course, has been within the Inventors as long as I can remember from the first day that we started the Inventors, from our first meeting, our first graduate. Ashefon Pelumi has been, very active, has mentored a lot of people along the way. We have people that is actively in their story within the community. So they are well experienced in their field with years of experience developing world-class products and all. So without too much of talk, because I feel like you guys would, I prefer to hear Tony's voice right now more than over mine or Paulumi's voice. So I would just basically hand over the microphone to our first speaker of the day. Please, go ahead and do your thing. I think that's Anthony Adedayo.
Yeah, thank you very much, Joe. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So I will share my screen now.
Okay, my screen is already boring too. I'll stop sharing.
Yeah. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, great. So you guys can drop while I present, you guys can drop questions in the chat, and there's a question section. You can Q&A section. If you check your set, I don't know if you guys have that available for you, but you can ask question directly there, and we can see. Let me drop a question so you can see first. Yeah, I don't know. So I just dropped a question. I don't know if you guys check your chat if you can see a question. So yeah, good. So you can drop questions there so that while we are done, we are going to give room for questions. So yeah, so welcome everyone once again. My name is Anthony Adedayo, and the founder of the community. Joe already did all the introduction. So today we'll be talking about, is like a topic, but it's going to have like two sections. We'll be talking about code review and peer programming. So Berlin will be taking, I'll be taking the first section, and Michael Ashifon will be taking the second section. So yeah, so welcome. And so let's start. I'd like to start by talking about what code review is. I'm the one taking the code review section, right? So if you don't understand what code review is, then it might be a bit difficult for you to follow along. So it's important that you understand what code review is. So code review majorly is a, let me say, a culture in tech industry to review your code majorly. So you have a feature that was assigned to you, you work on that feature, maybe it's a front end work or a back end work or anything regarding coding. So you work on that, then someone is assigned to review that code. They check some things about your code that we'll look into while I present, and they give feedback, or they approve or they disapprove, or once they approve, your code get merged to maybe the main branch or the develop branch or whatever branch that code is going into. So yeah, so I'll start by talking about the purpose of code review to improve. One major purpose is to improve software development lifecycle, right? So if you think about it very well, if I have the ability to just um, write any code and just merge it directly, then if you're working with a team, that will not make sense, because you want to review. In some cases, the team leads are in charge of reviewing code, but in many cases, anybody within the team is assigned to review that code, or you yourself, you ask for someone to review your code, and they give you some feedback. So the major reason why code review exists is to improve the software development lifecycle, so that we don't have bugs, we don't introduce problems, and to make sure we catch a lot of things. Yeah. So the second thing is to catch bugs and identify areas of improvement. So I can maybe write a code and I did not consider many scenarios, or maybe I have some bugs within the code, and I just merge it directly to the develop branch, or to the main feature branch, depending on the structure in your team, or in the company you're working with. So it makes sense to have someone to review, to catch all those bugs that you didn't think about. There are many times that you might omit something, maybe not intentionally. Sometimes you might not. Some people don't have the skill, so they just did not think about it. So that's another major reason we have code review. And last one is to enhance code quality and knowledge sharing. In my current company, so whenever there's any PR, everybody gets an update about that PR. So I go there, I check, oh, is there anything that this person did I might learn one or two from? Or is there any comment I would like to add? Like in my team currently, once there's a PR, everybody gets it, so you can drop your comments. So so you can add comments to help the quality of the code, and you can also learn or add some comment that will help improve the persons that request for a review. It also makes you understand the product better, because when you're reading someone's code, you know why, oh, this person is doing this, and you have a better understanding about that area. That's if you're interested in going deeper. So yeah, so the next part is we'll be talking about tips for sending code review. If you're sending a code review, what are the things that you have to keep in mind before sending a code review? And I can and for some people that maybe they are not working yet, you might be asking that, why do I need to know all these things? Why do I need to know this thing? I'm not even working yet, so I'm still a student. Or maybe you're already working, you're a junior, or you're a senior, or you just feel, why do I need to know about all these things? It's very important that you have an understanding about what code review is, so that it guides you, or you have the right mindset when you're requesting for a review. And for maybe teams, I know some team that, or maybe some company that they don't take code review, they don't even include code review in their software development lifecycle. it's very important that you start pushing for this, that, oh, we should have this, we should have that, and you will be taking knowledge from this event and let them know why this is important and why we should be doing this. And if you guys are already doing that and you don't have an idea, or you just feel why is this important, you will learn a lot of things from this section to help you know why that is important. And if you're still in school, this will prepare your mindset that, oh, so in software companies or in tech companies, they do this. Wow. Then it prepares your mind, like it gives you know what to expect. So if you fall in any of those categories, you know that there's something for you to learn from it. So yeah, so the things you need to keep in mind, keep it small, right? So aim to have like few lines of code, and avoid large periods that are hard to review. So this is very important because, for people that already have the experience, so imagine someone that create a PR with over like 1,000 lines of code, and you're modifying about 10 or 10 is even small. You're modifying about 20 lines, and you just push that code beams, and you ask someone to review. There is a problem there because it will be very difficult for that person to catch any bug. Even if they catch any bug, it's just becomes so large, and it makes it very hard for them to review. So it makes sense that you either split your tasks into smaller chunks or smaller PRs, so that it's easier for whoever is reviewing that PR to catch all those bugs or to give you feedback. And at times, if you just push too much lines of code like that, be it front end or back end, it's very difficult for that person to review, and sometimes they will just approve and just say, oh, it looks good, and they just approve. So don't do that, because remember what we said, like one of the major reasons for code review is to improve the software, right? So we improve the quality of the software and to catch bug that you did not think about. So if you have the right mindset, you won't do this. You will just make sure that you keep the PR short, as small as possible, as short as possible. So that's another thing you need to consider. So another thing is provide context. So describe the purpose of the PR clearly and link related tickets to it. So in some companies, they already have like a template for PR. So you see goals, description, deployment, wherever. So in some companies, they don't. If you guys don't have that in your company already, or maybe you have you have the ability to maybe propose that, it's good, because if you're going back to that PR maybe in 10, maybe 2 months after or 3 months after, you understand the goal. And it also helps the whoever is reviewing to understand the purpose of this PR. Oh, we are trying to modify the security, so we are trying to improve the login screen, we are trying to do this. That way, when they are reviewing the code, you understand what that PR is all about. So, and link any related tickets. If there are multiple tickets, if you don't know what tickets are, they are just like user stories or features, or information about the features that is used maybe on Jira or maybe GitHub, or most times companies break tasks into like smaller tickets or smaller tasks. So that way each developer or each software engineer can pick any of those tickets and start working on them. So link those tickets if possible, so that it's easier to, yeah. So comments on necessarily changes. So if you while you're writing the code, if you feel you have to like make this change and you feel is not related to the ticket or the issue you're working on, add comments and just say, oh, I included this because of this, so that whoever is reviewing will just be like, you said you're working on login screen, why did you go and touch registration screen? Or you said you're working on a function to improve authentication, why are you touching something that is that has to do with registration? So add comments. It's not bad when you add enough comments so that when they're looking at it, they understand that, oh, this is why you're doing it, this is why you're doing that. So it makes more sense, and explain why. Yeah, explain why to the reviewer. So now, next part. So handling comments. When someone drops comment on your PR and you just feel, why is this person adding? Why did this person add this PR? This comments, and you just ignore and you mark. In some companies or in some systems, if they are open comment on your PR, you'll not be able to match. But there are cases where you might be able to match even if they are comments. So it's very disrespectful. Look at this, the picture that I wanted to just picture this, like someone drop a comment and you're like, oh, blah, 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 what you're saying is trash, or what you're saying is nonsense. So it's very disrespectful. It's okay to make sure you address those comments. Like if you don't understand why that person is asking for that or dropping that comment, ask question is way better. And don't just match without telling the reviewer why you're merging, or why you feel that comment might be unnecessary. There are cases where people just drop comment and the comment might not be necessary, so they just drop it anyway. But there are cases where that comment might be important and you need to just address it. Make sure you address those comments. So in this section, we'll be looking at, we've talked about the review, that's who is requesting for a review. So let's go to because in most cases, also in some, like I said, in some cases you also need to like review other people's PR. So what kind of mindset should you have while you're reviewing other people's PR? So if you have questions, like I said, don't forget to drop them in the comment section or use the Q&A section. So like I said, I already talked about this. Communicate why certain suggestions are implemented if needed. Just communicate. Make sure you communicate. Communication is very key in tech companies or in software engineering. Make sure you communicate as much as you can. Communicate. Write that comment. Write that write that comment. Enter their DMs or enter their Slack and drop those comments. So now tips for reviewing code. So I'll be dropping tips when you're reviewing code. What are the things that you should look out for? And while I'm talking about these tips, also I will also be talking about what the reviewee should also think of, right? What the things that you should make sure you think of. So now, clarity and explicitness. You need to check this. Over communicate when necessary. It's very important. When you are reviewing code, you are reviewing someone's code, right? It's very important that you should over communicate. Like tell them. Like some people don't. Like, if you just say, "Oh, why do you have this?" or you're trying to drop a suggestion, it's very important that you explain why, so that when they are looking at that comment, now this time we are now at who is reviewing, right? So you are the one now reviewing someone's code. So while you're reviewing someone's code, make sure you communicate more. Like if you're saying something and you feel it's not clear enough, add more comments so that while they're looking at your comments, while whoever requests for that review is looking at your comments, they're not like, what's this person saying? Or they don't have like context, or they don't understand what you're saying. So make sure you add a lot of comments so that they know what to do with that comment. And avoid big suggestion also. So provide additional feedback. Like I said, don't just put this is wrong or change this or do that. Yet those are like big suggestion. Don't add those kind of suggestion. So understanding the PR, take time to understand the purpose of the PR also. Like a lot of people just review PR, review codes, and they don't have a good understanding about the code. That way it will be difficult for you to catch bug. If you don't understand the code, you can't catch bug because you don't know what this PR is, but you just see if this, that, you just see one function that is doing one thing, and you don't understand, you want to review. Remember that the purpose of code review again is to catch bug and to suggest improvements, right? So imagine you don't understand the PR and you are now, the code might look nice, but maybe the person omitted something or forget to do something or just disregard something or didn't consider one option. So, but once you understand the tickets and that PR properly, it's easier for you to like drop suggestion. So think about the impact of the entire solution, not just a specific change. So think about, is this PR going to introduce maybe some sort of regression or something? Those are things you need to look out for so that you can help your team, because remember, the goal is to make sure your code is better. So it's very important. Think about the entire solution. So what are the things you should do? What kind of mindset? What are the things you should do as a reviewer? So review with a clear mind. Don't review when you are stressed. When you are stressed, it's very difficult for you to do anything. I don't know. So it's for me. I try not to do anything when I'm stressed, even writing any code, because you might not be able to think clearly, right? You might not be able to think clearly, and it's very important that you remember the goal of code review, right? And if you do it while you're stressed, one bug can just flow from that period that you approved, and you say, oh, I approved this period, oh, you didn't catch this. So it's important that you review when you have a clear mind. So focus on understanding the PR overall purpose. Like I said this already. Make sure you focus on understanding the PR purpose so that PR is pull request. For those that don't know what PR is, PR means pull request. So is used to merge code from a particular branch or from the feature branch to the main branch in most cases. So if you guys are familiar with software development life cycle, you know that that they divide the task into smaller chunks, right? Then you raise a PR or you have your own branch, smaller branch that will be marked to the main branch. That's the flow in most companies. So yeah, so make sure you understand the variables. I already talked about it. So things you need to avoid making quick judgment without seeing the bigger picture. If someone is modifying something and you don't understand the bigger picture and you just start asking unnecessary questions on the PR, it's I don't know. Like I said, if you don't understand the PR itself, it will be difficult for you to add comment or suggest or cache bug. It will be very difficult for you to catch. So understand the bigger picture is very important. So just see how will this code affect the overall software or the overall application. So you have to think from that angle. So tips for reviewing code again. So check for key elements, things you need to look out for. Follow solid principles, like check if that person followed solid principles. So like I said, the review also, you that you're writing that code, you need to make sure you follow solid. If you don't know what solid principles are, please go and check them online and read more about them. Make sure your code is readable and add tests. Many companies, they don't write tests. Please, if you're working with a company and they don't write tests, it's important that you suggest this and push for unit tests or tests in any way. So because you can cache bug easily when there's test. I'm trying to rush through this so that because we intend to have this for like about 1 hour. So make sure that they follow solid principles and the code is readable and they have like good test coverage, and look for necessary privilege or security reasons. This is very important. Some people or some applications have restrictions on who can view what. So in some cases, someone might mistakenly allow a user to view or to have access to things they are not supposed to have access to. So those are the things you need to look out for. You don't want a user to see or to perform an operation that the admin should be able to perform. So those are why you're reviewing someone's code or why you're writing your own code. Also, make sure you look out for that. Don't just rush through the code, or don't just rush to implement that feature without considering all those things. Those are the things that companies look out for. That, oh, this person, they know what they're doing. And whoever is reviewing your code too, it's okay to make mistakes, but make sure you look out for that. And whoever is reviewing your code, we see that, oh, this person, they know what they're doing. Or when they catch that kind of bug, you learn also from it. So make sure you look out for that while you're reviewing. And when you're writing your code, make sure you avoid that also. Run checks. So most times the reviewer might put your code on their machine and just run some checks and see, oh, did you break anything, or is your code not properly formatted? This link check is to check for all things like that. Maybe you use a wrong syntax or there's a better syntax or something. That will help clarify that. Make sure you run that before you ask for a review. And when you're reviewing, also check for all those things so that whoever wrote that code can make those changes. So the big picture again, check whether a quick fix might affect the broader system. At times, there might be PLs that just fix something, maybe that just fix something little, but at times it can introduce new bugs. They can introduce new problems. So you want to make sure that what that person is merging will not cause a regression, like or introduce a problem. So make sure you look out for that. And when you're writing your code, also make sure you look out for that. So another thing you should take note while you're reviewing someone's PR is, don't just start adding bad comment every time. I know there are senior software engineers here, there are mid-level, there are junior software engineers here too. When you see someone write good code, compliment them. Or I remember it was this week, so we agreed at work. We agreed on something. I'm not going to get deeper into it, and I see that the person I was reviewing his code implemented that thing, and even though he didn't have to like implement it because it was like an old code, so he was just working on it. Then he saw that thing and he worked on it. I just dropped that comment, oh, nice thing, I like the fact that you did what we suggested or what we just discussed, and there was no any other comment I had to like add, and I just approved. So when you see stuff like that, it's very important that you recognize them. So, and it will help reduce tension. So wherever you're reviewing someone's code and the person is anxious, see 50 line, see 50 comment, or see 15 comment, or see 20 comments. When they see that you appreciated part of their code, or you appreciated the functionality or the way they write part of the code, and you now added suggestion, or you add suggestion in other parts, it will just release tension that, oh, this person feels you will improve their complaints majorly. So balance criticism with praise. It encourage collaboration. Yeah, don't go with the mindset of, oh, more this guy, you don't write nonsense again, or I will make sure I find that bug. Yet, don't go with that kind of mindset. You want to work together as a team. See yourself as in a football team, for example. There's a striker, there's a defender, there's a midfielder. It's very important that if they don't work together as a team, they will not win. So it's better you see that person as your teammates. And if you're dropping comments, and you are sure that if you understand why that the comments you drop is important, the next time they are raising a new PR, they will not make that kind of mistake again. Most likely, it's only if they are not teachable. But so in a way, and it reduces the number of time that you spend on the next PR, because if you give them the feedback and they appreciate, they will not do that kind of mistakes again. And next time you're reviewing another PR, if the first one took you like 1 hour, next one might take you like 10 minutes, because they understand why you're saying that. So yeah, when not to approve a PR. So if you're reviewing PR, when should you not approve PR? So I've itemized 3 things. When it's not clear, like you need to align with your team on what rejection or revision means. There are times that there are companies that already have like a standard. Oh, if this PR doesn't meet this, or if this PR doesn't have this, then there are times too that maybe you guys are following. You guys have like different releases, right? And you guys have agreed that, oh, this PR we go in by release 30 or release so, and someone pick up that tax, and you're planning on merging that when it's not right. Those are the things that you need to know, or ask your team that, oh, when should we approve or reject? I'm going to so reject PR with serious bugs. If you see that the PR serious bugs, maybe you went through it and see that there's a lot of bugs, that reject those PR. So avoid long delays. Don't just keep PR open for long. Doesn't make sense. Someone asks you to review a PR, and 2, 3, 4, 5 days or 2 weeks, you've not even reviewed the PR. It doesn't make sense. So make sure you check those PRs, or let them know why maybe you are busy working on something. Let them know, communicate clearly. So know when to switch medium. Yeah, there are times that there are PRs that those have the experience. You see that there are people that will start conversation on PRs, and before you have like 100 or 250 comments on that PR. It doesn't make sense, right? So make sure when to switch medium, like switch to Slack if you're using Slack, switch to Teams if you're using Teams. Just tell them, oh, let's take this conversation offline. Or it doesn't make sense. So or maybe let's tell them, let's have a call to just talk about this. If you're not comfortable, it doesn't make sense to just go back and forth on the PR itself. When PR have like 10,000 comments, people will look at that. What was happening? This person know what they're doing. So review with purpose. Like I said, I've mentioned this. Be thoughtful and be constructive, and stay communicative. Make sure you communicate properly. Yeah. So thank you very much. I think that's the end of my section. So I think I will be handing over to Belimi. If you have questions, like I said, drop them in the chat. We are going to have a session to answer questions. And yeah, Belimi, over to you. Or Joel, bring Belimi. I don't know. Over to you, Belimi.
Okay, no problem. I can just go. I can go ahead. Okay, so just save time. Yes, you can hear me clearly, so you don't have to do sound check. Tony, I'm going to present over here, or I'm just should just do that from my end. Okay, you can just do that since you are sharing screen.
Yeah, and I can continue if you want to.
Okay, thanks so much. So as Tony said, if you have questions, just drop them in the chat box, or you use the Q&A section and drop the question there. And thanks so much. Antonio has done justice to the code review section. We'll be taking the pair programming section. So can you, next slide. Okay. So the first question is, what is pair programming? What's even the pair programming? What the heck are we talking about pair programming? Please, I just want to write my code. I just want to write code. So what the heck is pair programming? So pair programming, basically, I'm just going to explain. I may not read the slide word for word. The slide is just to guide. Pair programming is basically people coming together to write codes in a layman language. Programming is writing set of instructions for your application, the software, anything you're writing, set of instruction for a machine to perform an operation. And pair programming is one or more people coming together to write that. That's what pair programming means. So next slide, please. Just don't want to bug people too much with this. Turn it, please, next slide. Okay, so one thing is, what are the benefits of pair programming? Why do we have to do this pair programming? Why? Just the question is why. So one thing is, it's going to improve your code quality. Pair programming is going to improve your code quality 100%. And this is how pair programming works. It involves one or two people coming together to write codes, having different set of eyes, seeing what you're writing. When you are making a mistake, another person can easily see it. If you are going the wrong route, another person can easily catch it. Oh no. If you are collaborating together, someone can bring that experience on board. Oh, I said something somewhere. I've heard of something before. Let's do it this way. So it improves code quality, not just you running your head, putting your head into it, and trying to solve a problem. It works sometimes for some people, but working together has proved that it improves code quality over the years. The next one is it enhances the collaboration within team. It enhances team collaboration. Also, it increased productivity. Most people think pair programming it's a waste of time. For some people, startup always argue this out. Startup, I work with startup a lot. They always argue pair programming is trash. It's a waste of time. I just need this feature out. I need it tomorrow morning. A lot of people might have been in that situation before, but pair programming really push for productivity. It increased productivities because when two people work together, they collaborate to work on something, they get the best. And also they try meeting up with the deadline. That's why in team you need to consider the time, the timeline, the deliverables on tickets. So because one also there are some negatives to all things in life. People may tend to waste time on pair programming if they're not careful. That's why there are some measures that need to be put in place. For example, time on tickets, focusing, itemizing what they need to do in the pair programming section. If these are not done, sometimes people can just discuss and waste their whole time on pair programming section. Okay, the next one is it's increased productivity. We've talked about that, and learning and mentorship. So learning and mentoring is something very good. I'm going to talk about this along the slide. Next slide, please, Tony. Okay, yeah, this is this is the next slide, which is how does pair programming works? How does it work? How does it work? How do we get this done? So we have the driver and navigator model. So let's see, I want to use a scenario like driving a car. So we have someone driving a car and we have people at the back seat. So that's simple analogy about pair programming. So pair programming is we have the driver part is the person that is actually writing the code on Israel system, while we have other people looking at the system, looking at the screen and giving opinions. Like, okay, fine, let's do it this way, like something fun, let's do it this way, write it this way, write it this way, collaborating together. And trust me, it's fast. We have a lot of features shipped out during that approach, and it reduces bugs. So we have the people that the actual person that write the code is the driver, is driving the whole code, putting up the application, writing the code, doing the analysis and everything. But the navigator does the thinking. So the thinking and the code writing is separated, because one thing that actually takes time in coding is the thinking. Writing of code can be done pretty much 2 3 minutes, 1 hour. The code is done, but the thinking, the logic behind it is what takes time. And if you have some set of people dedicated to to do the thinking for you, it's something pretty cool. You get. So if you have a lot of people doing the thinking for you, these are the navigators. We call them navigators in this pair program. These are the people that do the thinking, and while you, the driver, you collect the thinking, the thoughts and everything, and then you put them into code. And also, this navigator also suggests code for what to write for you, but you are the one that actually do the writing. So these developers can actually switch this role. Like, okay, fine, I'm going to be the driver, I'm going to be the navigator, based on how things go within a team. Next slide, Tony. Okay, what are the best practices for pair programming? The best practice for pair programming, the first one is effective communication. One thing I would love to emphasize on is pair programming, not to fall into the rabbit hole of saying let's do pair programming, it's going to solve our problem. First thing is we need to bring out the effective communication. As you are writing code, everybody needs to vocal out their thought process, not just one person staying in the back seat. They're going to solve it. Taking the back seat now, this is not going to help any pair programming. It's going to waste everybody's time. So everybody that needs to be on the call are extrovert. You need to bring on your extrovert game. Talk, even though you are saying the wrong thing. So effective communication is going to bring out the best in pair programming. This is going to be dialogue section, ask questions. And pair programming doesn't mean best people coming to program. No, because I've been a junior developer. I'm not just saying here. I've gone through a lot of trends. People writing codes at the early stage are always scared of pair programming. Be like, I'm not good enough to be there. People writing code that senior, they are mid, they are good than me. I can't put my thoughts on system. And if I want to code, I search Google a lot. I consult ChatGPT. Again, I want to do this in my closet, and I don't want people to see it. So no, people get this feeling, but no, not at all. It's meant to collaborate, to open your loopholes. Let's see what you can do. Just collaborate with people, see how things are done. And if you do this, it increases your boldness, your writing of codes. Some people can't even write code without Googling. Like, if you want to write one simple line, they will Google it. So it's going to remove all those things. It's going to increase your courage, your boldness in writing codes. And one thing is, that's clear communication. We've talked about that. Regular breaks. One thing again is you need to take breaks again when you come to pair programming sections. Don't just take 6 hours, 5 hours on a stretch. So try and take a break, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, based on what works for the team, but ensure you have break at intervals. So because this will definitely increase your productivity. For me personally, I prefer spending little minutes writing codes than spending longer writing code. And I prefer just doing the thinking for long hour, then just come on the system, write the code, it's done. So that's what I prefer personally. So next one is clear role switching. We have already discussed that. People can switch to roles. And the next one is avoid distraction. Please, there's a lot of distraction when it comes to pair programming, when people are coming together to discuss things. I can remember an organization, let me quote it that way. When I was part of the founder, one organization, when we started, there's a lot of communication. Trust me, it really slowed down the company I was building then. So it really slowed the productivity down a lot, because we have too many people talking and just different opinion without direction. So please, when it comes to pair programming, it's similar. So avoid distraction, minimize the tasks, focus on things that you need to work on. There may be a lot of suggestions. Some may bring their family problem on table. So just keep it straighten up, straighten up to work. Let's do this. Sometimes it can be fun that you may forget work. So don't run into all this trap. You need to be focused on your work and ensure you are not like there's less interruption. Okay, next slide, please. Tony, next slide. Okay, common challenges and how to overcome them. Discomfort in collaboration. I've talked on this a little bit, whereby some people don't really love to. No, the next one, previous one. I've talked about this a little bit, which is people don't really like they don't want to collaborate. They just want to do their thing alone and just mind their business, push their code. And if you have any opinion, tell them they're gonna fix it on the background. They don't really want to interfere with anybody. So no, this doesn't take people far in life. You need to collaborate with people. You need to get opinion from people. You need to give your opinion to people again. The one thing is encourage. This will be to the leads and to the people in higher roles in the organization. Encourage a positive environment and non-judgmental environment, whereby you don't judge the junior devs, you don't judge anybody around. Just there's one company I worked for. There's no opinion you give. There's no opinion you give. They're going to take it in, even though it's wrong. They're going to take it in, discuss on it. No, we can't go with this because of this. Not just shut up. No, you need to do better on that one. So the approach of things, you need to be nice to yourself. You need to correct what everybody in one way or the other in a good way. So the challenges also in pair programming is skill imbalance. There is a lot of problem with skill imbalance. Everybody is not on same level when it comes to coding. So we have some people that are very good, and we have some people that are still learning. And while we have some people that are transitioning to their mid or senior roles. So we have different people, we have people with different background again. So it may be a challenge when it comes to pair programming station, but when we have effective communication, it's something that can really grow. For someone that is having skill imbalance, the first time when you code is someone that is very good, trust me, you'll be challenged. You're going to go back home and do your research very well before coming to the next pair programming section. It's going to push you very hard. I'm going to give you the story, a short one. One of the big move for me in tech was, that changed my skill level, was working with a very, very senior person in the industry. We worked together on a project, on a side project. So this project, we worked together and I was really challenged. I see how code was written. I was moved. So it really gave me sleepless nights. So if that didn't happen, I would have feel I know the word. I know this. So please and please, I really want to beg everybody that is still learning. So try and engage in pair programming session. I think if event also try to do this because we have seen, we've experienced some things. We try setting up an environment whereby people can code and learn from the expert again. Yes, and you may not even know this person is this good. Yeah, in inventors when you code with them. So, but we've provisioned them and they've been available. So they work on project, community projects. So if you have time, just join them. They're going to explain anything. They're not going to shun you off. I'm sure of those people that they're not going to shun you off. They're going to take all opinions. And if you have some time, if you want to learn how pair programming section work, you can definitely join the community project section. I think Jiwon or anybody in the team can share more details on that. So next one is fatigue. So please and please, there's one problem again, is being tired, being exhausted, being mentally breakdown. There's one again, mental health. Yeah, it is. That's more common time now. You need to be careful of this, your mental health. Again, your stress. There's big problem on that. You need to manage that. When you are stressed, Tony has already spoken about this. When you're stressed, please take a break. There's nothing you're going to do after your stress that is going to be productive. That's one secret about it. You need to learn that in the hard now, or you learn the hard way. So when you're tired, please shut down your system, take a break, take a walk, rest, do something that works fine for you. So because if you keep pushing yourself, you want to build Facebook within a day, trust me, you end up building something else. Login page that doesn't work. So so please and please, when you're tired, take a break. So next slide, Tony. So we have some tools. These are tools for pair programming. We have several tools that we can use for collaboration, for pair programming. The first one is the traditional way, is the in-person tool. We have the people that work physically in office. You can come together and do the section in physical. Yeah, people still do that today. So they do second together. Some do presentation. The driver work on the Israel system and do the projection, and everybody sees what Israel is doing, and they contribute and write the code together. External screen, people do that again. And the next, they have some, we have some IDE, the tools for screen sharing and terminal sections. So we have the remote pairing section and remote pairing tools. Visual Studio has been doing a good job with this, and it's an open tool for live share. So we have Tuple, Code with Me, and REST. So you can search this online if you want to use it for your organization. If you want to use it for a team, you can use any of these tools. And also communication tools again, Slack, Zoom, Team, REST. You can, these are just tools to improve pair programming sections. So yeah, I think I've programmed with some couple of people using these tools again. So next slide. Just to add to it, there's no right or wrong tool. The thing is what works for you, the cost and everything. I just want to add that to it. There's no one that is best in quotes. So what works for you, maybe pretty much what works for you. Yeah. So the next slide is pair it should be pair programming case study. Yeah, pair case study. Anyone works. So the first one is I created a scenario. Don't want to put a company name outside there. So our pair programming reduced their bug rate by 40% and increased team collaboration. So in this case, one study, a company A, I see your hand raised. You can, if you have a question, you can just drop it on the comment section or use the Q&A section. This section is recorded. That's why I can pause and take question now. Okay. Proceeding, the company A, we have the bug rate reduced by 40% and increased team collaboration. It has helped company. But in a company that want to start it now, it may be tedious for them. A company that has not used pair programming before, it may be tedious for them to do the transition into a pair programming life cycle. So, but in the long run, it's something that is beneficial. So they may do it in such a way that 2 or 3 people are paired on a task to close it out within a time frame, which works pretty much good. It's going to save time, it's going to increase the productivity, and going to reduce the bug rates. Okay, so that's on company A case study. We have another case study whereby how pair programming facilitates onboarding of new hires. Yeah, so the onboarding of new hires, has been a big problem in most companies. Someone joining a new team, don't even know where to start. A lot of documentations. Trust me, there's some company you join, there's a lot of documentation to start with. Yeah, some company dedicate a week to 2 for onboarding because they know how tedious it is for people to transition into the workspace. But having a pair programming section is going to help new hires, the knowledge transitioning, help knowledge gap again. It's going to bridge a lot of knowledge gap. In teams, I know several team members, I have noticed something. We have some people that is very skilled in the application, and we have some people that are not too skilled in the application. So there's a lot of knowledge gap. There will be some people that knows a lot about the application, while some people just know fragments of the application, which sometimes not fair. But one of the things we can do to bridge all this gap is pair programming. When the person that is very good experience pair with someone that is probably a new hire or someone that is on board in the company that wants to work on the application. So working together, we definitely bridge the gap of knowledge. Yeah, it's going to bring those gap. I'm going to use myself an example. I've worked for a company whereby I didn't know jack about the application. So pairing one guy, the guy has worked for the company for over 8 years or 9 years. So working with him was like, it was even giving, not this is not even in terms of code now, it was giving me story behind those features, which is cool. Why was those features written? Why was this set up? So these are what pair programming will just give you. Like, there are some stories to some people write bad code, but they may give you some story behind it. You get. So guys, my time is up. I'm gonna be rounding up now. So next slide, Tony. So in conclusion, takeaway of this is pair programming is a powerful technique for improving code quality. It's going to improve your code quality, because one thing is you are having a second eye to look at your code. You're not just thinking in a single direction. You are having another set of eye to look at your code. I've made one silly mistake. I think I've emphasized the fact that when you're stressed out, please just take a break. I've made a mistake whereby I was stressed out and I was still coding. Just a login credential messed me up for hours. Hours. It was until I just called someone, let's pair together for some section. And the person was like, "You're using the wrong email." I was like, "What?" So trust me, and I was trying to fix what was not a problem. So so that's actually I'm trying to tell you that I'm not even perfect. Yeah, I'm trying to, people make mistakes. Don't be afraid to come forward and learn from others. Again, so collaborate with people and share knowledge for people that know more. Share knowledge for people that are trying to know more. Again, learn from people. Yeah, Tony, I've already talked about how to give comments and how to receive comments. I'm not going to dwell on that. So the next one is it requires effective communication, patience, for effective for communication on both ends, patience on the side of people that are very skillful and is playing with someone that is not so good. I know it's maybe stressful working with junior developer, but patience is key. So anybody that is in a position whereby you are gifted, you are skillful in an application, please be patient with anybody you are working with. Life is too short. Please, let's learn to help one another. And the last one is let's use the right tools. Okay, next slide. So these are just resources you can read up on pair program if you want to get more idea on that. Yeah, and that should be all. Yeah, thanks so much.
Yep. Thank you very much, Mr. Ashafon. And thank you very much, Mr. Anthony, for the session earlier. Very insightful session where we got to learn about code review, pair programming in details. And yeah, please, if you have questions, like we've been emphasizing, we can drop them in the chat section, in the Q&A section. Yeah, we have two questions already. We're going to start with those two questions. Time is not on our side. So, the first question from Stefano, he said, regarding pushing PRs, what is the feature? What if a feature implemented involved a lot of codes and new slash extending modules and files? Do we keep incremental changes on commits or push them? I think Tony K answered this question slightly while presenting, but yeah, you can like add something.
Yeah, thank you very much. So it's easier when you break them into smaller PRs, right? Because even if you keep them into smaller commits, um, the changes will still be like together. So it's better you just keep them to smaller players. So what you can also do is you can have like a feature branch, right? Then you can have like sub feature branches. You get, so let's say you're working on let's say chats. Chatting. Let's say you're implementing a chat feature, right? So you can, in most cases, you should break them down um before even writing the code, right? So let's say, okay, in my company, for example, so when there's a feature, so what we do is we check and see, oh, is this feature going to require a lot of changes? If it's going to require a lot of changes, we can break that single feature or that single ticket to smaller ones. Maybe we are implementing a chat feature, for example, so we can say, oh, implement security checks for chat or for groups, for example, or implement send message or something like that, or receive. So we break them down into smaller ticket like that, so that you can easily link that ticket up with the PR that you just read. So that way, anybody reviewing that PR can easily review them. So yeah, that's where I will add to that.
Okay. Okay. second question from Dominion. She says one of the rules for programming is case. That's keep it simple.
And I think we didn't
What is
ask. Sorry, we didn't ask Stefano if the answer is first.
Yes, please, Stefano. If that answer,
Okay,
I
good, good.
the thumb ups. Yeah. So from Dominion, she said there's this program, and one of the rules of programming is keys. So what if keeping? I think when you were explaining, you said you mentioned that we should make our code as short as possible initially. Can you please expatiate further on how we can obey the fundamental programming rule and also keep our code as short as possible without making it too complex? Look complex.
Okay, so like I said, I think the question I just answered now answers this also, right? So keeping it simple doesn't mean you should have like 2 lines of code, or in at least in this context, doesn't mean you should have like 2 lines of code or two. There are situations where you modify it or you work on a feature and the file is about 100 lines of code, right? And you add another file. In that case, it's not in that case, if you have no choice than to implement at least that feature, or that particular PR is speaking to a single feature or a single task. So that might make sense in that scenario, right? So you can make sure it's still simple while you are still addressing a single task. So, but when you have like 10, 15 files with over 500 or 600 lines of code, remember what I said, the goal of code review is to make sure that we catch bugs or to improve the code quality, right? So you want to make sure that you don't push too many changes that we prevent or that will make it difficult to achieve that goal. So like I said, break them down as much as you can, and make sure you follow solid principles, right? Make sure you followed all those programming principles or coding principles, because that will help your code, but that will improve the code quality and it make it easier for whoever is reviewing to review it also. So Dominion, I don't know if that answers your question. So maybe in the future we'll talk about some fundamental programming rules. So I didn't want to go deep into solid principles and design patterns and system design and all of that for this course, so that we don't just spend too much time on the call. So, but maybe we have another section to just discuss that in the future.
Yeah. Dominion, I'm sorry, did I answer your question? You can just like put it thumbs up or something. Oh, it's on the call again. But yeah, also there was at a point when Mr. Shofun was speaking that Kayode Michael raised up his hand. I don't know. But yeah, and happiness, I don't know if you have something to say. You also raised up your hand.
Mine was a mistake.
Oh, okay.
Mine was also a mistake. It was a mistake.
Okay, chill. Okay, cool. So if there is no other question, I don't know if there's like a final word from either of the speakers.
I don't think I have any, right? In my head, I'm thinking we can throw questions to the house. From Pelimi's section, I want to ask a question and I want maybe someone to answer, and let's see if you guys were listening or you just joined the call and for joining sake, so that you not look like you're not taking your tech career serious. So yeah, so Pelimi talked about peer programming. Can someone just in a sentence just say why you think peer programming is important? Because I learned a lot from what Pelimi said, right? Because I've done peer programming a lot, but looking at it from this perspective make more sense. So what do you think was the key? Why do you think with a sentence, why do you think peer programming is important? What do you learn from that topic? So can you raise your hand if you want to say something? Okay, good. So Electron.
Good evening, everybody. I'm assuming that you can hear me. So, thank you so much for the session, Mr. Anthony, Mr. Michael, Stefan. Okay, so basically, I would say two hands are better than one, and pair programming just brings in the power of collaboration, where one person's efforts can be able to complement the effort of another person. So from the model, the driver navigator, it shows a better or a good approach of approaching problems in tech and software. So that was it basically.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Two heads are better than one. So if I think, like Melanie said, we do that a lot. We have a backend project that I've been working on, and sorry, a website that we've been working on, and the backend team, we always have like a meeting every Wednesday. So that's within Inventors every Wednesday. So on that call, at times we just, oh, we do this way. We just share ideas and like you said, two heads are always better than two good heads. Let me use that word. Two good heads are better than one. So yeah, so that makes sense. So does any other person want to add or one or two things that you feel you learned from the peer programming section? Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. So since no other person is raising their hands, I think Joe, I can hand it over to you so I can close the curtain for today. I think we are 3 minutes past time already.
Yeah. Yeah, so thank you very much for joining, everyone. There is, if you check the chat section, Happiness dropped some message. Please, if you are not following our social media pages, you can follow. Like Tony K said, we would possibly have follow-up sessions where we talk about solid principles, sign patterns, and all. So it'd be nice if you're following us so you get first-hand information of our events, of various things that we'll put out, like yeah, so nice. And you can also join the community to actually experience all of these restaurants. So yeah, thank you
Yeah,
very much for joining
yeah,
to
yeah,
this.
yeah. Sorry, to cut you. To add to that, so we'll be uploading the video, and we'll be sharing the slide also. We'll be uploading this video to YouTube so that you can watch them again, and you can also go through the slide again. So, one of our goal, right, is to help people get better and to also improve ourselves. Also, like these programs, I'm sure they've all helped people that have a lot of experience or people with little experience. So, and please take advantage of the inventors communities, right? If you have a question or you have an issue, drop it. We have a WhatsApp platform. Drop those questions on those WhatsApp platform. If you are not dropping any question or if you're not dropping anything, so we assume you're fine, you're good, and you're okay. So if you have any issue, there are instances where people have dropped, oh, can you help me review this? Someone enter my DM or someone will drop it on the platform, or I'm having an issue about this. If I don't have the experience, or if someone else might have that kind of experience, so they can easily help you resolve those issues. And that's one of our major goal, to mentor people, to help you, to give you ideas. And we've talked about peer programming and how else can you take advantage of that. You have an issue, you want someone to just peer, don't over use it. Also, like, don't book a call with someone and spend like 3 hours or 2 hours or 10 hours. So make sure you find a good time to just pair with them. They can share some ideas. Oh, you can do this way, you can do this way. Like Palumi said, that's how you get better. And you can also review your code, right? We talked about code reviewing and peer programming. Those two topics, they are like very important. That's how you grow. If you're avoiding someone to look at what you have, or you are avoiding someone criticizing your work, you will not improve. So you just think, oh, what you know is better. Let me give you an example. While I was still in school, I thought, oh, I know so much about programming already. There's one person that keep asking me a question. What else is in this software engineering? What else is in this software engineering? Right? Software engineering or building products is not about just writing code, back, and it's working. As you grow, you find out that it's not about that thing working. And in teams, most times they can suggest an idea, and for some reason they have to like change that idea because based on a different scenario, or based on or something they didn't think of. So please make sure you are utilizing the Inventors community. When you have issues, drop those issues, and someone will follow up, or someone will try to help you resolve that issue. Or you can just book a call with someone, jump on the call, and they help you improve or give you some ideas on what to do. So thank you very much. I think that's the last thing I would like to add.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So, like I said, thank you very much for joining. And that is the end of this session. Good night.
Yeah, good night, everyone. Yeah,
Good
bye.
night, everyone. Bye.